Hey, it's Holly. In today's video, we are doing something super special. We just received in the mail one of the re-released 1992 Starlight Castle compacts. This has been re-released in 2021 as part of the Polly Pocket Keepsake collection. If you've been following along on my channel, you'll know that I recently, well, not so recently, a few months ago now, did a video on the 1992 Starlight Castle compact, and I am so excited that they've re-released it. It looks so amazing, and today I'm going to be opening this box, showing you what the new re-released Keepsake Collection version looks like, and then we're going to compare it to the original 1992 version. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, here it is. This is the 2021 Keepsake Collection version of the 1992 Starlight Castle compact. This is, as I mentioned in my previous videos a number of times, just one of the most iconic Polly Pocket compacts. It's often, you'll see it in fan art, you'll see it in all sorts of different merchandise over the years. If you watched my video on some of the Polly merch that I have, it was printed inside of one of the purses that I own. And it's just one of those things that whenever people think of Polly Pocket, they tend to think of this one. It's probably one of their best-selling compacts of all time, but for a good reason. It is super cute. Now, they have re-released it, and in all of its beautiful glory, we are going to be opening this box. And in case you're curious, yes, I did buy a second one because I have a hard time opening boxes. But let's just talk about the box for a minute. It's really cute. So they did sort of a castle design on it. You can see there's brick, these beautiful little heart-shaped windows, and then lots of just really cute sort of 90s flavor pop art. Here is Princess Polly. This is the updated Prince Casper. As you can see, this is distributed by Mattel, ages 4 and up, because there are lots of small parts in it. And the new Keepsake Collection logo. There's all these beautiful little stars, twinkles all over the box. And you can look at it from all sides within. Now, again, so cute. This is, I think it's supposed to look like the Pony Ride-In compact, but you can see it has a unicorn horn, so just a little play on that. And then on the, bear with me, on the back, another little Princess Polly, some more updated information, and just looking at this here, hold on, I'm trying to see where the date is. It must be on the bottom. There's the new compact design. The previous one was pink, of course. I'm going to compare them for you, so you will be seeing the pink one again. Here's the other side. This is the horse that is inside the compact. And if we just take a quick look through the top, of the two that I got, this one does have some damage, so that's why we're opening this one. And there is the date, 2021, Mattel. So I'm really excited that these got redistributed. I'm excited that they've updated this compact. I am not sure how different it's going to be aside from colors. I can see a few changes just looking at it. But before we do that, just to remind you, just in case you have not seen the original compact or checked out my video on that, this is what the original one looked like. So it's a deep pink colored heart. It lights up. Bear with me, this one is hard to open. There we go. So when you open it up, there's a sliding track, that the stairs open. So you can see the colors are quite different already. And I have my lights on right now, but this is lit up. There's a switch for the light here. And the castle, of course, folds open. So we're going to come back to this in a little bit and we'll compare the two side by side, but that's just a quick look at what the original one looks like. Okay, so we're going to open this up. Just one more thing I want to point out, and I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but at the back there it says recreation of the 1992 best-selling compact. That's what that blurb back there says. Probably hard to pick it up. Oh, maybe I did it. But that's what that says back there. And as you can see, they've really done a beautiful job packaging this. So I'm going to just grab my knife here and we're gonna get into it. Wow. Okay. There we go. These little posts come out. Here, now I can show this to you a little bit better. So that's what that said in there. Really cute. I purchased mine from the US, and if you didn't know this, I'm in Canada, but was a lot faster for me to order them from the US. So you'll notice that. Oh, actually, there is some French in here. I think they just put French, English, and Spanish on the compact so they wouldn't have to make more than one, which is smart. It looks like they may also have, I want to say Italian on it. Here it is. Oh, there's more tape. Let's look at what it came with here. So, instruction pamphlet that is in, oh wow, all sorts of languages. But it just says to keep the instructions. There's small parts. This is not for children under 3. The box said 4, but we'll just let them have that. So they're showing how the figures click into the little holes, where the little trap door is here. Shows that it lights up and that there's a button that's going to have it light up, and it shows how the horse and carriage work. It does require 2 AA batteries. That's okay, we've got that. And it does note that it also has an automatic shut-off feature, which the original compact did as well. And then just a little diagram showing how to put batteries in. So not too much going on in there, which makes sense. There's not a lot to this toy. And this is just some other legal stuff that they have to put in the box. And this one is it appears to be information about battery safety. Okay, so that's what's in the box. So not a lot, but the instruction manual is pretty cute. Now it does look like we have a little bit more to unpack here. There is some tape at the front, so we'll go ahead and open that. This is one of those toys where a kid couldn't even open this without adult help, but again, that's fine. Okay, now we have to find a way to squeeze this out of here. All right, and we're out. Okay, so you can see we have some figures here, and I don't know that it said anything on the box about the figures. There was no real information about their names or anything, so we might just have to assume that their names are the same. I'm just going to double check this, make sure it didn't say anything in here, but can we talk about the fact that the faces on these dolls, and this one appears to have light skin, do not match this appearance. So I wonder if they had been made slightly different for a different market or for, I don't know, a prototype, and then they changed them, but these do look like closer to the original figures in terms of their face. And yeah, they just look a little bit different. So I'm not sure if they were originally going to go with that and then decided to keep it true to the original, but hey, no information about their names. So we're just going to run with this is Princess Polly and Prince Casper because that's what the original set was, and we'll compare the figures in a little bit. So let's pop them out. First thing I'm noticing here is if you look at the base of the figure, it's not a standard poly base. It has a bit of a square in the bottom. Normally it would be imprinted with the year. So that is different. The plastic feels very different, not necessarily in a bad way, but they almost don't feel real. I don't know how to explain it other than the plastic feels, I think maybe just the weight of it is different. And then, of course, we've got the swan. This appears to be taped. Of course, nothing ever just works as you want it to here. Here's the swan. Okay, again, the plastic feels very different, but so cute. Base is, again, not that standard base. And here is the horse and carriage. This is really beautiful. The horse looks very different to me. We're gonna have to pull it out and compare it with the other one, but I'm not sure that the other one was a unicorn. I don't think it was. I think it did have a bit of a headpiece. Now I'm second guessing myself, but this one's definitely a unicorn. So that's an interesting choice. And the buggy looks pretty true to the original in terms of its shape. That just sits on there and it fits, it actually fits quite nicely. All right, so let's open it up. It does have a battery compartment. It's on the back. Previously it was inside and it has a screw so that kids aren't eating the batteries. The other one did not have a screw for the battery compartment, but things have changed in, 20 years. So 30 years, I guess it is actually. So we'll install those later and then we'll turn the lights on so that you can see what it looks like with the lights off. Sorry, turn the lights off and we'll turn the lights on in the compact. So here is the case. It already sort of has a bit of a scuff on it. Not a great start. I'm sure that will buff out. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can. Interesting. There's actually a lot of, it's interesting how it's finished, and I don't know if this will come across on camera. I think you can see it there. There's a lot of almost like little pot marks in it. And I don't know if that's just part of how it was assembled, that it got that uneven finish, but can you see that there? It's like there's a lot of little dents in it. It's very strange, but again, we just took it out of the box, so I'm sure that has something to do with the construction. Let's go ahead and open it up. Oh, by the way, sorry. It does say 2021 on the bottom as well, which is nice. A lot more writing. I'm trying to get that lit so you can see it. A lot more writing on it than you would typically see on a original Poly compact. So really beautiful logo. I'm loving this new Keepsake Collection logo. Let's open this up. And there it is. Let's do our traditional from top to bottom. So up top we have the castle. This is Starlight Castle. So there are stars in the background that are going to light up for us later when we get our batteries in. The doors are going to swing open. I say swing and I don't want to break this, but bear with me. Here we go. And inside we have a few things. So there is a bed for Polly, a dressing room up top. We also have what appears to be a stovetop, a throne, and it looks like the throne kind of lights up in there. And then this is the trap door. So this opens up to expose another little room, tiny room. Mostly you can use that as a storage for one of the Polys. And then down the stairs. The stairs are quite textured. There is a place for one of the figures to stand. There's a pond for the swan. There is a little croquet area up here with a bench to sit on. And this is where the batteries were in the previous compact, which you'll see in a moment. And just down here in the courtyard, there are some stones, some lights at the front, and then there's a light up gazebo over here. This is the button for the batteries. So we'll check that out later when we get batteries into it. But again, what comes with the complete set? We have Prince Casper, and in this version, he has dark skin and he's wearing a beautiful purple outfit. So he looks quite a bit different compared to the original Prince Casper. We'll put them side by side later. We also have Polly, and her hair is so yellow it's almost green. And she's got a beautiful turquoise, light turquoise dress on, almost like a baby blue, but it just has a tinge of green to it. And some gold details, but this is not very shiny. This is almost like a mustard color, but her crown is painted gold and it's shiny. Then of course we have that swan that we saw earlier, just a teeny tiny swan. What I believe is a unicorn. And that is the carriage that goes with it. So that's part of our complete set. So now let's just have a look. I'm just gonna click these in over here to keep them safe. Let's just have a look at the other original set so you can get a gauge for what that looked like in comparison. This set unfortunately does not fold all the way open, so I'll have to tilt and play with it a bit, but here is the original one. So if we look at it even just from this angle here, you can see a few major differences right away. So I do notice that a lot of this is the same. There's still sort of these little bumps here, but I think a lot of this was just mostly so that you could lift the battery area open, which, you know, here I am trying to do it and I can barely do that now. Okay, we'll try that again later. But this is where the batteries are kept on this one. So they're underneath this spot. So effectively, it's not too difficult for a child to get this open. And you'll notice that there are croquet mallets, but because this whole battery cover situation was changed, the croquet mallet here looks very different compared to the one here. So this one's up by the button and this one is down below the button. So it's close, but it's quite different. And in terms of the plastics used, again, this one just feels like a lot of a lighter plastic, not necessarily in a bad way, but you can tell they're definitely different plastics. The color of the pathway is just slightly different. This one is also a lavender color, but it's just a bit more saturated. And this one's a bit more of a gray tone. It's just a bit more muted. The lights up front are very different on this one. So they're really tall here. And on this one, they are much shorter. And they have little hearts up top. So the top is a heart, whereas this one looked more like a traditional lamp post. So that's a big difference here. Just looking at the location of the spots you could click figure into, those all appear to be the same. There is one up by the croquet area, one at the front, one on the stairs, one in the pond. The pond looks really similar. And then there is also one over to the side of the gazebo. But again, if you look at the gazebos on the new one, it's heart-shaped. Can you see that there? That's heart-shaped. And then this one was round. So they have changed the gazebo a little bit. In terms of the flowers on the side and the pond, that stayed pretty true. I'm also noticing that the grass at the back behind the pond is a little bit shorter on the new one compared to the other one. It was longer and darker in color, but it is fairly close. Oh, you know what else is really different here? Hold on. Look at the stairs. Just less stairs on the new one. So it's interesting because you think they would use kind of the same mold, but clearly they did actually just kind of redesign it. And I'm seeing more every time I look at it. The steps on the original one are very defined in terms of the actual paving stones, and this one, they are not nearly as defined. And also on the new one, there is sort of some other little shapes mixed into the, what am I trying to say here? Courtyard. So there are definitely a few noticeable differences. Now I'm just gonna put these off to the side. Let's compare the top half of the compacts because I'm gonna need all my hands for this. So here is the castle on the new one. These hearts are raised, so they are above the plastic. And you can see that we also have a bunch of decoration up here. So if I look at the original one in comparison, the hearts on this one are actually indented. So they're depressed into the plastic. We can see obviously there are some major color differences. I'm just trying to decide if there is much more to it from a difference perspective. The texture of the turrets on the castle are a little different. The brickwork is slightly different, but all in all, it's pretty true to the original. So they definitely didn't just reuse the mold. This has all been redesigned and rethemed. It's pretty close, but they are different shapes. The size of the hearts on this one, for example, up by the yellow ribbon, if you look at that and then you compare it to this, they are different sizes. So they really did not just simply remold it and re-release it. There are differences here. Looking at the back, there are also differences in the stars, and this will probably be easier to show you when I've got the lights off in a few minutes, so we're gonna hold on for that. And then opening this up, bear with me, the new one is, I'm just afraid to break it because it seals up very well. Oops. So the bedroom areas are close, but again, different. They have all of the same things in them. They have the vanity area, they've got a mirror, the bed. It all looks very similar, but just some small changes in color and how it's represented. And the same goes for the bottom, except the notable difference on the bottom is on the original one, that trapdoor area was a knight, or at least armor for a knight. And on this one, it's a unicorn. So some differences there. So before we get into the lights, let's just compare the figures again, because that was a very noticeable difference for me. So I'm gonna get out my figures from the original set. Okay, so let's start with Polly and Prince Caspar. So here is the new poly on the left and the original poly on the right. So pretty close. Just to look at the differences, let me see here side by side, really, really close. An interesting note about the poly, the new one, is on the original poly figures, the skin tone was really the base plastic color. So it was just plastic and then everything else was painted on top. So depending on what skin color that the figure had, the rest of the details were just painted on top. So the dress, the hair color, anything like that. This one, I don't know if this will come across on camera, they've painted her skin color on. She looks really gaunt, or I don't know if that's the word. She looks pale, like she looks kind of ghostly. So it's interesting. This one just has a bit more shine and color to her. So I do prefer the original one. In terms of the size, they are very, very close. Of course, they have different bases, which is interesting that they've made that choice, but very close. Prince Caspar, wildly different. First of all, we've got different skin tone going on, so that's cool that they've made a change with that one. But the new prince has a crown and the original one actually didn't. So in terms of the outfit, the design is similar. Obviously now the new one is purple. The other one was like a grayish blue with white shoes. This has just a little bit more regal flair to it, I find. And of course I appreciate that he's got a crown as well. So that's a really cool update. All right, now to address the question of the unicorn versus the horse. Okay, I was correct. So this one is a unicorn, and then this one, it was indeed a horse. This one doesn't really have like much of a tail going on. Like there is a tail, but it's kind of hidden from one side. And it's just attached to the figure, whereas this tail sticks out of the figure. So that's a bit of a change. And where they've put the horn, there was sort of a headdress before. So the horse was just wearing like a full royal getup, and this one is quite a bit more simple and turned into a unicorn. So again, I prefer the original for that one. Although I like the update for Prince Caspar because I feel like you should have a crown. Why not? Now, in terms of the carriages, pretty close remake. They are very similar. I do like that the paint on the original one was just a bit of a deeper gold color. This one is very yellowish. So this one's the original, that's the remake. So I kind of like this tone better, but in terms of design, it's almost identical all the way down to the bottom. It's pretty close. So they're both lovely. And then last but not least, we've got our swans. So this is the remake swan and this is the original swan, very close, slightly different shape. So they have redesigned it, but they're both really cute. I do like how delicate the neck on this one is, but they're both very cute. And if I had received either originally, I would have loved them equally. They're just such a sweet little figure. So that's the differences. Do we want to see them with the lights off? Let's go ahead and turn off the lights. Okay, so we've turned off the lights. We're going to check these out. So first let's check out the original. So I'm gonna open this one up and look at that. This is why everyone loved this playset, right? It just lights up so beautifully. So there's the two pillars at the front. There is the gazebo, the beautiful backlit star scene, and then when you open up the castle, some of that light also shines through into the interior. So it just had this beautiful sort of moonlit glow to it. So we'll put that over here for a minute. Let's open up the new one. And it's got, if you can see the difference there, oh yes, that's obvious. It has this beautiful warm glow to it compared to the original one. And don't get me wrong, the original is beautiful, but look at this. It's got this just beautiful, almost like campfire glow to it. So there's the heart pillars at the front. So that's a new feature, and the heart-shaped gazebo lights up as well. There's some little sort of diamond designs in the gazebo, by the way. And then, whoops, I hit the button. There we go. The beautiful backlit star scene. Now let's just compare those two now that you can see them. The new one, if you can see it here, there is a shooting star, and that is not present on the original. So there were definitely some design differences, and I feel like when I look at it on camera, it's twinkling. It's not though. I don't think it is. I'm looking at it and I don't know though. And then to open this up again, here's what that looks like inside. Isn't that just gorgeous? So here's this one. Let's prop this one open again so you can see them side by side. Really similar, both so beautiful. I do like what they've done with the redesign. I think it's a really lovely honor to the original compact. They've really honored the design and the whimsy of it. But there's definitely some things I do prefer about the original. I did like the horse, to be honest. I did find that the poly just looked a little bit better on the original. I did really like the night trapdoor. The unicorn one just, I don't know, it just doesn't make as much sense to me. But I also love that, sorry, this one has an auto shut off feature to keep turning it back on. But I do love that they've added some other details. Like on this one, there's little candles around the throne, and they're present on the original, but they don't light up. And I love that shooting star. I love the new Prince Caspar, that he has a crown. The heart-shaped gazebo and the lights at the front also are quite cute. And they added those shapes to the courtyard. So just some really cute additions, but all in all, very similar. Both are fantastic toys. I am by no means disappointed by the new one. I think it is a lovely toy, and just really great to have side by side in my collection. So let's wrap this up, but I hope you enjoyed checking out the differences between these two toys 30 years apart. Okay, so what did you think? This is a really cool toy. I'm really glad that I was able to get not just one, but two of these, because I really do love the way they packaged it and just keeping it in the box. It's so beautiful the way they put it together, but it was also nice to pull this out and get my hands on it. What an awesome toy. What an awesome remake. But I would like to know in the comments, what did you prefer about the new version and what did you prefer about the old version? Obviously there's some things about this that are just, they can't be replicated, and they're so lovely, but this is a pretty cool update. The other thing I didn't mention, sorry, when I was going through that is the size difference. They're physically like the same size in terms of the shape, but from the side, if you can see that, it's very subtle, but it's about, I would say at least a 1/4 inch thicker, like taller. So it's a big difference. And again, the difference with the battery compartment, there were a lot of little tiny things that changed over it, but love this new logo. Love the update, and I'm really happy with this toy. So let me know, what did you like about the original? What did you like about the update? And if you're getting an update, I got mine off Amazon. So I'll link to it in the description below, but just, I would love to hear your thoughts on it. So let me know in the comments. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's free. Please hit it. And also like the video. And if you are on Instagram, please come follow along on Instagram at Pocket Vintage Toys. That's where I'll show you what's going to be in my next video. As I get new things like this in the mail, I will show them to you. And just generally, if you want to keep in touch with me, that's a great place to do it. So follow along at Pocket Vintage Toys on Instagram. And that's really all for today, but we'll be back on Thursday with another video. Before I sign off though, I have to say thank you so much. I cannot believe we just hit 4,000 subscribers. I feel like we just doubled overnight. It wasn't very long ago at all that I thanked you for 2,000 subscribers, and here I am catching up, and now it's suddenly twice as many. So thank you for being here. And as always, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.